Hey everyone! Welcome to today's video. It is going to be power-packed with so much value. You are going to want to stay until the end. I'm Cheryl, and yes, that is a true picture of me on the screen, but I choose to have a faceless YouTube channel for various reasons, such as having my viewers focus more on my content. I hope you understand, but from time to time I will show my face. Today we're diving into a topic that's both fun and incredibly useful. The worst things to wear at the airport for women, men, and kids. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or planning your first trip, this is for you. Airports can be stressful enough, so why make it worse with a poor outfit choice? We're going to keep it lighthearted with a bit of humor, but trust me, these tips can save you a lot of headaches on your next trip. So grab a snack or drink, settle in, and let's get into it. All right, let's start with a big one. Tight or uncomfortable clothing. I get it. Those skinny jeans might look great, but after sitting in them for hours, you're going to feel like a sausage in a casing. Not to mention, you'll have to get through security where you might need to bend, stretch, or even do a little shimmy to get them off or back on. And don't even get me started on the airplane. Planes are already cramped. Why would you want to make it worse by wearing something that cuts off your circulation? Go for something with a bit of stretch. Think leggings, joggers, or anything that feels like pajamas, but still looks somewhat presentable. Your body will thank you when you're not squirming in your seat, trying to get comfortable. Next up, let's talk about shoes. Specifically, complicated shoes. If your shoes have laces that need a PhD to untie, buckles that could double as handcuffs, or are thigh-high boots that require a full-body workout to remove, you're in for a bad time at airport security. Remember, you're going to have to take those shoes off when you go through TSA. Do you really want to be that person holding up the line because you're wrestling with your footwear? Nope. Instead, opt for something easy to slip on and off. Slip on sneakers, loafers, or even flip-flops if the weather permits. But if you do go for flip-flops, just make sure your feet are, public ready. No one wants to see your unkempt toenails while they're trying to catch a flight. And make sure you remove and change the flip-flops before going on the plane. I wouldn't recommend wearing flip-flops on a plane in case of an emergency. Let's talk about layers. Yes, layering is smart, especially when you're going from a cold climate to a warm one, but too many layers can be a nightmare at the airport. If you show up wearing a puffer jacket, a hoodie, a scarf, and a beanie, you're going to have a rough time. Not only will you be sweating bullets by the time you get to your gate, but you'll also have to peel all that off when you go through security. And where are you going to put all that stuff? Those little trays they give you aren't bottomless pits. You'll be juggling all your clothes while trying to keep an eye on your laptop, phone, wallet, and boarding pass. So keep it simple. One jacket or hoodie should be enough. If you're worried about getting cold, throw an extra layer in your carry-on bag. That way, you're not a walking coat rack. Now let's get into the bling. Jewelry. We all like a little sparkle, but wearing too much at the airport can turn you into a walking metal detector magnet. Necklaces, bracelets, big watches, rings, earrings, the more you have on, the more you'll have to take off at security. And trust me, there's nothing more annoying than having to remove all your jewelry in a hurry while people behind you are tapping their feet impatiently. Plus, do you really want to risk losing something expensive because you had to quickly throw it into a bin? My advice? Keep it simple. Stick to a watch and maybe a pair of small earrings, nothing too flashy. And if you absolutely must wear your jewelry, put it on after you've passed through security. That way, you won't hold up the line and you won't risk losing anything valuable. All right, this one is more about being considerate to your fellow travelers. Strong fragrances, whether it's cologne, perfume, or even heavily scented lotions, please just don't. Airports are crowded, confined spaces, and not everyone wants to smell your signature scent at 5 a.m. Plus, some people are really sensitive or even allergic to strong smells. You might think you smell like a garden in spring, but to others, you might smell like a chemical factory. Do everyone a favor and go light on the scents. A little deodorant is fine, necessary even, but save the heavy spritz for when you reach your destination. This next one might seem obvious, but it's worth mentioning: offensive or inappropriate clothing. Yes, I'm also talking about those t-shirts with questionable slogans or images, political statements, or anything that might get you in trouble. Remember, airports are public spaces, and you're going to be surrounded by people from all walks of life. Wearing something that might offend someone or attract unwanted attention could land you in hot water. And let's not forget, airlines have the right to deny you boarding if they think your outfit is inappropriate. So keep it classy, folks. There's a time and place for everything, and the airport is neither the time nor the place for your most controversial attire. Let's now talk about shorts and skirts that are just a bit too short. I know, comfort is key, especially if you're flying from a warm location. But think about it, airport seats are not exactly the cleanest, and those airplane seats? Yikes! Do you really want your bare skin touching all those surfaces? Plus, if you end up sitting on a cold vinyl seat in the airport or on the plane, you're going to be freezing. A little extra fabric goes a long way in making sure you're comfortable and, modest. If you're a fan of shorts or skirts, go for a length that's a bit more conservative, at least knee length. Or better yet, wear leggings underneath your short skirt or dress. You'll be more comfortable and won't have to worry about any wardrobe malfunctions. I hope you are finding this video both informative and entertaining. Our goal is to help you travel in comfort with less hassle and stress. Remember, the key to a smooth airport experience is all about comfort, practicality, and maybe a little bit of style. You don't have to sacrifice one for the other. You just have to plan ahead. Do you have any comments and questions? Please drop them in the live chat. What's the worst airport outfit fail you've ever seen or experienced? Or maybe you have a question about what to wear on your next flight. Drop them in the comment below and let's talk about it. Now let's move on to see which other airport outfits are non-negotiable. Now let's move on. Again, we hope you are getting a lot of value from this video. We are now going to dive into some more things a lot of people get wrong. We're talking about the same absolute worst things to wear at the airport. These wardrobe choices that might seem okay at home, but will make you regret your life decisions as soon as you step into the airport terminal. So grab your coffee, your tea, or whatever you're sipping on, and let's chat about what not to wear when you're traveling. Because no one wants to be that person who's uncomfortable, inconvenienced, or just plain regretting their outfit at 35,000 feet. First on the list, tight turtlenecks. Now, I get it. Turtlenecks can look sophisticated and keep you warm, but wearing one that's too tight can be a serious mistake, especially when you're traveling. Imagine this. You're stuck in the middle seat, the cabin is stuffy, and now your neck feels like it's in a straitjacket. Not to mention, when you're trying to sleep, that tight fabric around your neck is going to make you feel even more claustrophobic. Instead, opt for a loose, breathable top or a comfortable sweater that won't make you feel like you're choking. Trust me, your neck will thank you. Next up, low-rise pants. Look, I know they're making a comeback in fashion, but low-rise pants at the airport? Big mistake. They're uncomfortable, you're constantly pulling them up, and let's be real, no one wants to flash the entire terminal when they bend over to pick up their luggage. Plus, sitting for hours on a plane with the waistband digging into your hips? No thank you. Instead, go for mid-rise or high-rise pants. They're more comfortable, they stay in place, and you won't have to worry about any unexpected wardrobe malfunctions. Now let's talk about shoes, specifically brand new, stiff shoes. We've all been there, excited to show off a fresh pair of kicks, but the airport is not the place to break them in. New shoes often need some time to soften up, and wearing them straight out of the box for a long day of travel is a recipe for blisters, discomfort, and a miserable flight. Imagine limping through the terminal, dreading every step and knowing you still have miles to go to your gate. Instead, stick with a well-worn pair of comfortable shoes that you know you can walk in for hours. Your feet will thank you, and you'll avoid spending your vacation nursing blisters. Next up, shiny leather pants. Yes, they're bold, they're edgy, and they might make you feel like a rock star, but the airport is not the place for them. First off, they don't breathe, so you're going to be sweating buckets as you hustle through the terminal. Secondly, they're not exactly stretch-friendly, so sitting for hours on a plane can turn into a real challenge. And let's not even talk about the squeaky noise they make every time you move. If you're looking for something edgy, Go for faux leather leggings or coated jeans. They offer the look without the discomfort. Or better yet, stick with comfortable, stretchy pants that let you move and breathe. And now for the business travelers, the too tight blazer. Blazers are great for looking sharp and professional, but if yours is too tight, it's going to make your trip miserable. Imagine trying to reach for something in the overhead bin, but your arms can barely move because your blazer feels like a straitjacket. Or worse, you're sitting in your seat, and you can't even lean back without feeling like the seams are going to burst. If you need to wear a blazer, make sure it's comfortable and has a bit of stretch to it. Or better yet, pack it in your carry-on and put it on after you land. You'll look just as sharp, but you'll feel a whole lot better. And finally, let's talk about the massive backpack. I know it's tempting to bring everything but the kitchen sink when you're traveling, but a huge backpack can be a real pain. Not only are you going to be bumping into people left and right, but good luck fitting that beast under the seat in front of you. Plus, carrying all that weight around the airport is going to leave you with sore shoulders and a stiff back before you even get on the plane. Instead, go for a medium-sized backpack or a sleek carry-on that's easy to manage. You'll still have plenty of space for your essentials, but without the hassle. Remember, the key to a smooth and comfortable travel experience is dressing smart. Avoid these mistakes and you'll be one step closer to enjoying your trip without any wardrobe regrets. Please share these travel tips and continue watching the video. Okay, now let's move on. Now, of course, we don't want to leave our men out. Let's talk about the head-to-toe camouflage that some men wear to the airport. Sure enough, I saw someone in full camo gear at the airport. And do you want to know why it is hilarious? Well, seeing someone in full camo gear at the airport is always good for a laugh. It's like they're preparing for a covert mission through the duty-free shop. The humor lies in the fact that airports are the least likely place where blending in is necessary. Instead of making them invisible, the camo outfit makes them stand out like a sore thumb, especially in a sea of casual travelers. These fashion choices are funny, not just because they're unusual, but because they reflect an over-the-top commitment to comfort, preparedness, or style in a setting where practicality usually reigns supreme. And like women, our men need to take advantage of these tips, not only to stay current, but to travel comfortably and stay within the perimeters of what airport security will find disagreeable. Whether you're flying for business, pleasure, or something in between, dressing smart can make your journey a whole lot smoother, so let's kick things off with a classic mistake. First up, cargo shorts. Now I know what you're thinking, but they're so practical. Sure, those extra pockets are great for carrying all your gadgets, snacks, and who knows what else, but here's the problem. All that stuff is going to make security a nightmare. Picture this, you're in the TSA line, and now you've got to empty out what seems like a million pockets. You're holding up the line, and now everyone's watching you pull out granola bars, chargers, and is that a screwdriver? Instead of cargo shorts, go for something more streamlined. A good pair of chinos or athletic shorts, or even a pair of comfortable pants with just enough pocket space for your essentials will do the trick. Less fuss, more speed through security. Next on the list, graphic tees. Look, I love a good band shirt or a funny slogan as much as the next guy, but the airport isn't the place to make a statement. Wearing a shirt with a controversial or offensive message is just asking for trouble. You never know who you might offend or what kind of extra scrutiny you might get. Plus, do you really want to be remembered as the guy with the inappropriate shirt who got pulled aside for questioning? Keep it simple, guys. A plain t-shirt or a polo is a much safer bet. You'll look respectable and no one's going to give you the side eye while you're waiting to board. Flip-flops. Guys, I get it. They're easy. They're comfortable. But they're also a big no-no for the airport. Not only are you practically barefoot in one of the germiest places on Earth, but you're also setting yourself up for some serious discomfort. Think about it. How many times have you stubbed your toe in flip-flops? Now imagine that happening while you're running to catch your flight. Ouch. Plus, flip-flops offer zero support, and if you've got a long walk to your gate, your feet are going to feel it. Opt for a pair of comfortable sneakers or slip-on shoes instead. Your feet will thank you. Next up, the full suit and tie. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't look sharp, especially if you're traveling for business, but a full suit and tie might be overdoing it for the airport. Between the tight collar, the constant adjustments, and the inevitable wrinkles, you're going to spend more time fidgeting than actually enjoying your flight. And don't even get me started on going through security with all that metal. belt buckles, cufflinks, tie clips. You're practically asking for a pat down. If you need to dress up, consider a smart casual look. A blazer with a button-up shirt minus the tie will keep you looking professional without the added hassle. You can always throw on the tie once you land. Now let's talk about the full matching tracksuit. I know, they're comfortable and it's easy to just throw one on and go. But here's the thing. A full tracksuit can make you look like you're heading to the gym, not the airport. Plus, if you're on a long flight, those synthetic fabrics might leave you feeling less than fresh by the time you land. Instead, go for a more polished, casual look. A nice pair of joggers with a simple t-shirt or hoodie will give you that comfort you're after, without making it seem like you just finished a workout. Sunglasses indoors. Guys, you're not a celebrity trying to avoid the paparazzi. There's no need to wear your shades inside the airport. Not only does it make you look a bit out of place, but it also means you might miss important visual cues, like where your gate is, or worse, bumping into people. Keep the sunglasses for when you step outside and wear them where they belong. Plus, you'll avoid any awkward encounters, literally. Finally, let's talk about accessories. I know you want to look good, but overdoing it with big watches, rings, chains, and bracelets is just asking for trouble. Not only will you set off every metal detector in sight, but you'll also waste time taking everything off and putting it back on. And let's face it, by the time you're done, you'll probably have lost something along the way. Keep it simple. A watch and maybe one or two subtle accessories are more than enough. You'll look polished without the headache. A man decked out in an all-white outfit at the airport is a sight to behold. It's as if they're tempting fate, daring the universe to ruin their pristine look. From coffee spills to greasy food stains, an airport is a danger zone for anything white. The humor comes from the sheer impracticality. Every step is a potential disaster waiting to happen, and the tension of keeping the outfit clean is almost palpable. The airport, with its cramped seating, shared armrests, and bustling crowds, is the last place you want to wear something that requires this level of maintenance. By the time they've made it through security, navigated the crowded terminal, and boarded the plane, the stress of maintaining their all-white ensemble might leave them more exhausted than the actual flight. We cannot leave out the tech bro look. I am sure you are wondering what this means and why it's hilarious. Well, listen up. The tech bro look typically features a hoodie, a startup branded t-shirt, and a pair of ultra-expensive headphones. What makes this funny is the combination of casual comfort with an almost self-important air. The wearer often looks like they're ready to pitch a $1 million idea to venture capitalists in the airport lounge, but the vibe is more Silicon Valley casual than world traveler. The juxtaposition of laid-back attire with an air of seriousness creates a humorous disconnect because it doesn't look genuine. And airport security will spot you from afar and even be tempted to give you a pat down. But to each his own. You can become a bait or just blend right in with other passengers. A man in a full tuxedo at the airport is guaranteed to turn heads. It's like they're expecting to walk straight off the plane and into a black tie event. The formality of a tuxedo clashes so much with the casual airport vibe that it becomes comically out of place. It's the ultimate in over-preparation, making you wonder if they've confused the airport terminal with the red carpet. Next, there are those ultra-short shorts. Yes, some men like to wear them, and it is hilarious. Ultra-short shorts on a man at the airport are funny for a couple of reasons. First, they're often paired with other mismatched clothing, like a bulky jacket or long socks, creating a jarring contrast. Second, airports are usually air-conditioned, meaning those short shorts will leave him shivering before he even boards the plane. It's the ultimate in trying too hard to stay cool, while everyone else is just trying to stay warm. If you are looking for female attention, don't try, because for most women, that would be a turnoff. And as for airport security, you won't impress them. So do yourself a favor and ditch the short shorts. Leave that to the women. Okay, let's stop beating up on the men for now. We have to take a look at women over 50 now. Yes, a lot of women that age travel very often, and they love their large, heavy handbags, even when they are traveling. A large handbag might seem practical, but it can quickly become a burden when you're navigating the airport. Heavy bags strain your shoulders and back, leading to discomfort that can last long after your flight. They're also more challenging to store under the seat or in overhead bins, creating additional hassle during boarding and disembarking. A lightweight crossbody bag or a small backpack is a better option, distributing weight evenly and keeping your hands free. It is best to keep it simple, practical, and smart, and your airport experience will be a breeze. Older women seem to love their metal-studded apparel, but it is not recommended when traveling. Why not? Well, clothing with metal studs, zippers, or embellishments may look stylish, but it's almost guaranteed to set off metal detectors at airport security. This means you'll either have to remove the item or undergo additional screening, which can be time-consuming and frustrating. Save the embellished pieces for after you've arrived at your destination and opt for simpler, metal-free outfits when flying. In the place of belt, a woman over 50 will prefer tight, elastic waistbands, whether she is wearing a dress, pair of pants, or skirt. Elastic waistbands can be comfortable initially, but if they're too tight, they can dig into your skin and cause discomfort, especially during a long flight. This is particularly problematic if you experience bloating or swelling during travel, which can be exacerbated by sitting for extended periods. Choose pants or skirts with a comfortable, flexible waistband that won't pinch or restrict, or even a loose dress which would allow you to sit back and relax without irritation. And you can depend on a middle-aged woman to wear that heavy, oversized scarf, which is only going to get in the way. A heavy, oversized scarf might be cozy, but it can quickly become a burden at the airport. These scarves take up extra space when you have to remove them at security, and they can make you overheat in a warm terminal. Once on the plane, they can be cumbersome to manage, especially in tight seating areas, and may even spill over into your neighbor's space. A lightweight, compact scarf that can double as a wrap or blanket is a much more practical option for travel. And women, please leave the caftan at home. The overly loose caftans is not for travel. While caftans and muumuus are incredibly comfortable, their loose, flowing design can be impractical for airport travel. The excessive fabric can become cumbersome when trying to navigate tight spaces, such as the airplane aisle or security checkpoints. There's also the potential for the garment to get caught in moving walkways or escalators. Additionally, the lack of structure in these garments can make it difficult to carry a bag or keep things organized, leading to a disheveled look by the time you reach your destination. Women between 35 and 50 love to wear shapewear or waistband to keep in their stomach. However, even though these might help you feel more confident in your outfit, it's a recipe for discomfort during travel. Sitting for long periods in tight, restrictive shapewear can cause significant discomfort, including issues with digestion or circulation. Plus, going through security can be awkward with a waistband, especially if you're asked to remove it or if it triggers additional screening. It is best to opt for comfortable, breathable clothing that allows you to move and breathe easily during your journey. Fringe and tassels can add a fun bohemian vibe to an outfit, but they're not airport friendly. Long, dangling pieces can easily get caught in zippers, snag on seats, or tangle in other passengers' belongings. They also make security checks more difficult, as TSA agents might need to inspect them more closely to ensure nothing is hidden within. To avoid the hassle and potential for damage, it's best to choose outfits without these dangling adornments. So that's it for the older women. Now we are going to discuss what children should not wear to the airport. If this is a family vacation, you should always dress your kids comfortably. Now let's dive in. Traveling with kids can be an adventure all on its own. But one thing you don't want to be dealing with at the airport? Clothing mishaps. Let's dive into the top things your little ones should never wear to the airport. Trust me, avoiding these can save you a ton of stress and make your travel day a breeze. First up, shoes with laces that are difficult to tie. Kids and shoelaces. It's a combination that can lead to endless frustration. Whether it's the hustle of the airport or just the excitement of the trip, those laces seem to come undone at the worst times. Slip-ons or Velcro shoes are your best friends here. Quick, easy, and no tripping hazards. Next, avoid clothing with excessive buttons. Imagine needing to unbutton a shirt quickly at security or during a restroom break. Tiny buttons can turn into a big hassle, especially if your kid is still mastering the fine art of buttoning. Stick to simple, easy-to-manage outfits that keep things moving smoothly. Speaking of keeping it simple, let's talk about metal-embedded outfits. Sparkly jackets with metal accents might look fun, but they're almost guaranteed to set off alarms at security. And trust me, you don't want to deal with the extra screening that comes with it. Choose soft, metal-free clothes that won't cause unnecessary delays. Now, I know kids love dressing up, but costumes are a no-go for airport travel. As fun as it is to channel their inner superhero or princess, costumes can be bulky, uncomfortable, and just plain impractical. Plus, those accessories like capes, masks, or wands, they're bound to raise eyebrows at security. Keep it simple, save the costumes for the destination. Even if you're headed to a winter wonderland, a heavy winter coat at the airport is more hassle than it's worth. Not only will it likely have to come off at security, but carrying it around in a warm terminal can lead to overheating and extra baggage. Instead, layer up with lighter, easy-to-remove clothing. Flip-flops might be great for the beach, but at the airport, not so much. Flip-flops or loose sandals are a no-no because they can easily slip off, causing your child to trip. Plus, they don't offer the support needed for all that walking through terminals. Opt for sturdy, closed-toe shoes that stay securely on those little feet. Layering is smart, but too many layers can backfire. Excessive layers of clothing can make your child uncomfortable, especially when it's time to go through security and you're dealing with multiple items to remove. Keep it simple, with breathable layers that are easy to adjust depending on the temperature. Now let's talk about oversized backpacks. While it's tempting to let your child carry everything they think they'll need, a bag that's too big or too heavy can strain their back and become a burden. Plus, it's a pain to fit into overhead bins or under the seat. A small, lightweight backpack is a much better choice. Pajamas might seem comfy, but pajamas at the airport, not so much. They're not designed for the hustle and bustle of travel and can make navigating the airport or dealing with an unexpected delay much more difficult. Instead, go for comfy clothes that are suitable for both travel and sleep. And for the kids, let's not forget about hats. Hats with wide brims or decorative elements are super cute for girls, but they're impractical for airport travel. They can block your child's view, get knocked off in crowded spaces, and be a pain to carry around once removed. A simple, snug-fitting hat is all you need. We've already covered some basics, but what about those more unusual clothing choices? You know, the ones that seem like a good idea until you're halfway through security and wondering, why did I let my kid wear that? Today, we're diving into some truly unique outfits kids should avoid when heading to the airport. Now let's discuss the jacket with a built-in light-up feature and sound effects. Yes, it happens. The clothing with built-in toys or gadgets. These might seem like the ultimate combo of fun and fashion, but trust me, they're better left at home. Not only do they distract your child and everyone around them, but they can also cause delays at security when the gadgets need to be inspected. And let's be honest, the novelty wears off quickly, leaving you with an annoying beeping jacket that everyone wants to turn off. I've seen children wearing pants that zip off into shorts, struggling to convert them. Yes, the convertible clothes with multiple functions. Whether it's pants that zip off into shorts or jackets that turn into vests, these garments can be more trouble than they're worth at the airport. The zippers, snaps, and detachable parts are all just one more thing to lose or get stuck in a security bin. Plus, mid-airport wardrobe changes are never as quick or easy as they seem. And what about the child wearing an overly puffy vest, bumping into people and objects? While staying warm is important, puffy vests or jackets can turn your child into a human bumper car. These bulky items not only take up way too much room in security bins, but they also make it hard for your kid to squeeze through crowded spaces without knocking into everyone. Opt for something less cumbersome and more compact, like a lightweight packable jacket. Don't even mention the child in a hoodie with an attached stuffed animal backpack, playing with it instead of focusing on the surroundings. How about those outfits with attached stuffed animals? They're super cute, sure, but they also encourage your child to focus more on playing with their clothing than on staying close to you in a busy airport. Plus, when it's time to take it off for security, suddenly you've got a tangled mess of fur and fabric that needs to be untangled and inspected. Save the stuffies for the carry-on bag. And the child wearing a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt in a dim airport catching lots of stares. Last on today's list as it relates to kids is the glow-in-the-dark clothing. While it's fun and flashy, this type of clothing can be more of a distraction than anything else. The glow might be great for a sleepover, but in an airport, it can attract unwanted attention, especially in dimly lit areas. Plus, it's not exactly subtle if your child needs to blend in during a crowded boarding process. So let's move on as we share more value. Hope you are enjoying the video so far. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or someone who only flies once in a blue moon, dressing right for the airport can make or break your travel experience. So let's get into it, starting with a classic mistake. First up, the infamous jumpsuit. Sure, jumpsuits are trendy and can make you look effortlessly chic, but they come with a hidden challenge, especially at the airport. Picture this. You're in a tiny airplane bathroom, and suddenly you realize you basically have to undress just to use the toilet. Now you're juggling your outfit and trying to keep everything off the floor of that tiny, not-so-clean space. Not ideal, right? Instead of a jumpsuit, go for separates, pants and a top. You'll still look great, but without the bathroom gymnastics. Next up, heavy jackets. I get it, if you're flying out of a cold climate, you want to stay warm. But lugging around a massive heavy jacket in the airport can be a real hassle. It's bulky, hard to store, and you'll probably end up sweating buckets while you wait in line at security. Plus, once you're on the plane, where do you put it? It's either squished into the overhead bin, or you're sitting on it like an uncomfortable cushion for the whole flight. Instead, consider layering with a lighter jacket or a packable down coat that can easily fit into your carry-on. You'll be warm without the extra bulk. And let's not forget about those big statement belts. They might add a touch of style to your outfit, but they're going to be your worst enemy at airport security. You'll have to take it off, hold up the line, and then awkwardly try to put it back on while juggling your bags. Not to mention, if it's too ornate, it might even set off the metal detectors, giving you extra unwanted attention. If you really want to accessorize, choose a simple, easy-to-remove belt, or better yet, skip the belt altogether. Your outfit will still look put together, and you'll breeze through security. Now, let's talk about the things you really should just leave at home. Pajamas, I know. Comfort is key, but PJs in the airport? That's taking it a bit too far. But believe it or not, I have seen someone wearing pajamas in the airport. Was so unbelievable. Don't let that be you, though. Sure, you might feel cozy, but airports are public spaces, not your living room. Plus, who knows who you might see at the airport? Could be one of your past schoolmates. What an embarrassment that would be. Yikes. Next up are flip-flops. They seem like a good idea until you realize you're practically barefoot in an airport. If that thought doesn't give you the shivers, I don't know what will. And don't even think about wearing anything too revealing or inappropriate. It's an airport, not a nightclub. Remember, you might have to sit next to a stranger for hours. Let's keep it classy, folks. The fashion statement. Too much of a good thing. Now, for the fashionistas out there, I get it. You want to look good while you travel. But there's a fine line between stylish and impractical. Oversized hats, massive sunglasses, and chunky jewelry might look amazing in photos, but in real life, you'll be fighting with your accessories the entire time. That oversized hat? It's going to be a pain to store. Those big sunglasses? You'll constantly be taking them off for ID checks. And chunky jewelry? You'll light up like a Christmas tree at security. Keep your travel outfit simple and functional. You can always change into your show-stopping outfit once you've arrived at your destination. The temperature gamble, ignoring the plane's climate. Let's talk about the temperature gamble. We touched a little bit on this earlier, but since it is very important, let's address it in more depth. You might be flying out of Miami in the middle of summer, but that doesn't mean the plane is going to be warm. Planes are notorious for being cold, so if you're wearing shorts and a tank top, you're probably going to spend the entire flight shivering under those flimsy airplane blankets. On the flip side, wearing your full winter gear to save space in your luggage, you're going to roast in the terminal before you even board. The trick is to layer smartly. Bring a light jacket or scarf that you can easily put on or take off as needed. You'll be prepared for any temperature without the extremes. The carry-on catastrophe bag mismanagement. Finally, let's talk about your carry-on. Yes, I know this isn't technically clothing, but it's something you wear in a sense. On your back or dragging behind you, a heavy, overstuffed carry-on is going to be your worst enemy as you navigate the airport. You'll be struggling to lift it into overhead bins, wrestling with it through crowded terminals, and worst of all, dealing with the back pain afterward. Pack light and make sure your carry-on is something you can easily manage. It'll make your journey so much smoother. These fashion choices are funny not just because they're unusual, but because they reflect an over-the-top commitment to comfort, preparedness, or style in a setting where practicality usually reigns supreme. Now let's wrap up because I know your time is valuable. I do appreciate you staying until now, and as we end, please bear in mind that we are serious about providing value to you. Make sure you turn your notification on so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, so there you have it. The worst things you can wear at the airport. I hope this gave you a good laugh and maybe even some insight for your next trip. Remember, traveling is supposed to be enjoyable, and dressing smart can make a huge difference. Keep it comfy, practical, and stylish, and you'll be ready for anything your travels throw at you. And hey, if you enjoyed today's live stream, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more travel tips, hacks, and a bit of fun. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Until next time, safe travels everyone, and I'll see you in the upcoming video.